Hey, everybody out there in Jetland, welcome again to Jets 55, week one. It's time. It's time to play.
Woo-hoo!
Oh, it's it. After all this time, it's now. And it's go time.
Yeah.
It's whatever you want to call it. You know, the Thursday night game, the Chief game, everything's happening. It starts right this second, and we end the weekend. So we're going to talk a lot about, the game, and we'll talk about all sorts of things. There's my bud, you love him, you can't live without him. Good old Vin in Jersey. I'm out here on the West Coast, and
Well,
we
the
just
big
keep going.
news is that Philly boy out there in the West Coast for a very good family celebration with his beautiful and amazing mom will be in town, and with
Hey,
his boys will be watching Monday Night Football at the Vin Man's. Just historical moment.
yeah, I had to
Uh,
come up with a good reason to to come across to watch the game. So I told my mother, "Hey, we'll come see you for your birthday." Yeah, I'm just kidding. Yeah, right. So
it's going to be us, your boys, me, our boy Tom, his
yeah.
boys, James and Tommy. Going to be a big guy crowd watching Monday Night Football. It's here, everybody. It's
Well, look,
finally.
if we could get it together, maybe we'll do a live stream. I don't know. I don't have to really. We'll see. We'll have our
Check us
producer.
out.
you know. So
Check us out.
yeah,
But, Hard Knocks. You were talking about Hard Knocks, my friend.
yeah. It's like we all know. We saw it broke records. I mean, I saw on a couple of websites that the first episode was the highest ranked episode ever in the 20 years, and it was the number one streamed program on Max last week, HBO, whatever. So the program, the whole series, everybody's loving it, everybody's on board. So what Hard Knocks has done for us is we got a lot of people now that are watching, that are paying attention a little bit more, that are in the boat, that are on board, and we're thrilled that all because we started this podcast, this is all happening. Because if we didn't do any of this, no, no, I mean, honestly, what it means to me is that, it was so much fun. Aaron Rodgers was talking about his UFO incident again when, apparently he's talked about that over the years. So what we're seeing with Rodgers is now it's going to morph from this fun honeymoon. Hard Knocks was so good. He looked so good. He was so involved every step of the way, coaching, bringing kids in, the whole way through. And Salah, it was so well done. They did a phenomenal job. So it was so much fun. And now we go to where it's time to put it into action. And I think that's the key. If they still continue to have fun with it and they execute the way that they can, we're going to have a good year.
Well,
So
I'm gonna throw out the three things I thought about. Three things about Hard Knocks is one, I was one of those, I was one of those, oh my God, you read sports media, you're dreading it. It's going to be the worst thing ever. But the first thing is, it was a lot better than I thought. Second thing is, I remember, I mean, I don't remember a lot, but I remember 2010 Hard Knocks with Rex Ryan. And to me, that wasn't good at all because 90% of it was this thing of cutting guys, which was horrible.
right.
Which just goes, and that's the first thing Douglas and Salah, like, no, we're not having that. And it forced Hard Knocks to me to be more dynamic, understand the vibe, get close to the players. And I thought it wound up being a great job. And the last thing I'm thinking is it shows if the players who are watching, if the other players on other teams watch this, it's going to show what type of guy Salah is, what type of guy GM Joe Douglas is, and what type of organization the Jets are. So just huge positives to me that came out of it. Real happy about it.
I think you were starting to say a good point that what they decided was we're not going to show like every other year people in their worst moment. And I read an article, and when I watched it, everybody knows what they did with Gibson and Brownlee. It's like they bring these two guys in, one right after the other, with Douglas and Salah, and everybody's got their backpacks. It's cut day, so they don't know if they're making it or not. So instead of showing the moment where it's the worst moment in their life, and this is what Salah said, we decided we wanted to show the happiest moment in their life, the highest moment in their life. So you see this guy Gibson, where he's like, okay, he says, and Douglas goes, and you're a New York Jet. He's like, What? Oh, you're making so it was just really nice to see the joy because
That was
they
incredible. That was great.
worked so damn hard and it was nice. And I think they are now gonna going forward use that method and that as a template a little bit more what they did with the Jet one because it was better than the usual, hard
Yeah, I
knocks.
think. Listen, I get
Yeah.
Douglas and Salad deciding that they didn't want the cut thing. That took away a lot of the framework of what Hard Knocks is, and I think that helped to make it better. And you know, the last thing I really liked, it was such a negative thing. Salad was saying negative things about it, but when push came to shove, there weren't like these a-hole, like I'm not going to, let you interview me. I'm not going to. No, they were professionals the whole time. They were engaged, and they
Right.
came. To me, they came off in their best light. And Rogers, we all know how much we saw of him. And I'm just going to throw this out there real quick. Some other things to talk about, but people have another buddy of mine. He likes another New York team. All good, man. It's all good. But this guy, the dark place. Oh, this guy, UFOs. You know what? Is he a good person? Does he communicate with the team? Is he going to be good in the field? Because it's all about what he does when he gets on that field. And
You brought up something I got to talk about. Okay, your friend, whatever. That's the biggest problem with rivalries, but especially where we are, because it's ridiculous. Outside of the area, no one cares about either team. They don't, believe me. I've been away for 25 years. I'm a Jet fan. That's it. I don't care about the Giants, but I don't care about the Giants anymore at all. When you're home, you're hoping that you don't come across someone that's going to make you feel like an idiot because you like the Jets. Or that crap is so lame. And for fans that are Giant fans or even Jet fans that screw these guys, who cares? The excitement that we have now, it's real for us. And if anyone else doesn't want to make that ride with us, who gives a crap? They just
well, listen, it's always the same. It's even over decades. And I said, no, he was being funny about it. But like I said to him was, listen, bottom line, if you were a Jets fan, you'll be loving Rodgers. So that's all the story is. That's
exactly.
what it comes down to.
It's not that he's a bad guy, this guy, but I'm saying a lot of these folks are not.
He's a bad guy.
Like Mike Francesa. Those guys aren't happy unless we're down because they think they're better. That's why he was going Jet Life Stadium. Welcome to Jet Life Stadium the week before, right? As he's leaving the room, leaving the field, Rodgers.
Yeah.
So he's clapping hands against the Giant game. Welcome to Jet Life Stadium. Giant fans aren't going to like that. Say, why not? The Giant fans still think it's Giant Stadium. It's not. It's MetLife Stadium, and if anything, Jet Life Stadium. So I'm not afraid to say, oh, guy, Giants, fine. When they don't play us, fine. Do what you got to do. I don't care. I'm not against them. I don't really care. But I'm not going to let them or anybody, the Patriots, the Giants, anybody that wants to make us feel like we belong in a certain place below them so they could stamp their foot on us, go to hell. Don't care anymore. It doesn't work. It doesn't matter. So, that's the point.
That's what I like about the team. They're not afraid about the Super Bowl talk. They're not shying away from and it's not bravado. In fact, I love when Salah says it. He says, if anybody's not thinking about wanting to be in the Super Bowl to be Super Bowl champs, that's what it's all about. So
we're learning to be the team. We're learning to be the team, the winner, like the Chiefs finally learned. They were nothing until, this guy showed up. They won one Super Bowl, right? Like us, the one after us. And now they got two and they're 3 times in the Super. I mean, it takes a culture change and consistency. And Andy Reid was the guy.
And a really good quarterback. Really good quarterback. And it does. So, listen, getting into the game, it's actually, notice there's a lot of commercials with Josh Allen, by the way, just throwing it out there. A lot of Josh Allen commercials. Yeah. He's out there. Good for him. It's a short life. It's a short, window you have. Take all you can get. But I got to kick that.
Make the most of this night. No Von Miller. Right. They don't have the other linebacker that retired or his guy forgot. So there's definite opportunity for them to exploit that middle section a little bit with those tight ends. But we'll get into that a little. But one last thing about Hard Knocks. I loved what everything that Saleh did throughout the whole thing. you said it before, and it's so true. If you see what they got going there, you're going to want to come to this team now. Salah's the real deal. And he said, on Hard Knocks, he said, listen, I understand the whole, one of his press the Jets and their history. He says, these guys don't care about their history. These guys care about now and the next couple of years. They don't care about what happened. Yes, they know, we all know about it, but we're here now and we're looking to soar. So they have the right mindset, and it's downright exciting. It just is. And, hopefully, when have we had two backs like this, receiving core like this, tight ends and a quarterback like them?
Well, that's it, and that's another thing to talk about. The game's coming up. It's official. The news, Hall and Cook are going to play. They're in, and you got Carter, you got Izzy, you got competent backs, but being that Breece Hall and Cook are going to be in there, I'm excited to see what how he's doing, how he looks. Hey, listen, I'm going to say it again. That line, they got their 5. They're practicing. And I got to tell you, the biggest problem with that line I have, everybody's, talking about it, ripping it apart. My biggest problem is still, to me, Tomlinson. I mean, Becton looks like a beast right tackle. I'm rooting for the kid, beyond rooting for that kid.
Yeah.
He's saying the right things. He's talking intelligently, like really. Not that he wasn't before, but he was very I just think he was just going to show up. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think he was just going to show up, dominate, and that's it. And then he had a lot of issues. But you know what? This is the new Jets, because when other players would have trouble, or young guys with the Jets, they would just fold their tent. And this Becton had a chance to fold his tent, take some money, maybe get another contract, not do the best. And the kid fought through it. And he's a mountain of a man, but he's a kid, fought through it. So my biggest thing is I'm ready to cross that line. Dwayne Brown, healthy man, but Tomlinson, I feel still etchy about him from how poor a season he had last year, and that could have been a lot of the unbalance of the line. So I'm hoping to see him really come back and be a Pro Bowler like he is. But that line is solidified, baby. It's solidified.
Look, rewind to like you just said about Becton. He said, "I'm the left tackle," and then what did Saleh say? Yeah, you could go out and earn it. They go out and earn it. So, he told him, probably like he said in the media, go out, prove it, earn it. You have to do more with that right knee. You have to show us that your knee can sustain, it can handle. And the kid has done everything, every step of the way. So what did Saleh do? He rewarded him with the starting job, the right tackle job.
He earned the right tackle job. Kudos to him. I hope he has the whole season and plays the whole time. I hope he really just becomes that guy, because, like I said, you saw in the preseason he didn't play the whole game, but he was in there quite a bit, crunching blocks, flattening guys out, crushing guys, keeping guys off of Rodgers. So for all the quarterbacks that were in there when he was playing,
I think the difference is now when you're going to have a game, we're going to start talking about Buffalo. When you start scheming as to what you're going to do against them, the whole blocking scheme and the quarterback play and the backfield. Don't forget they got Borden, right? The fullback. Who knows what they're going to do? All of this now comes into play as to how the blocking schemes are too. So when it's preseason, you're just watching how the guy does one-on-one. But if they do stunts, if they do all sorts of other things, if he does different types of blocking assignments, it might not be as bad. It might be okay. This is what he's done. He did a great job, rather than, oh my God, every play he was getting beat here, he's getting beat there. But if it goes off tackle to the left side, it doesn't matter what the hell he's doing on the right side, as long as he keeps him away from Rodgers and his guy out of the backfield. So I think what I'm trying to say, right, is that, look, we want them all to be upright the whole year. Think of it though. If God forbid something happens to one of those tackles, you got Elijah Vera Tucker. Guy's a great tackle if need be. You got now Joe Tippmann, who comes in and becomes a guard if need be. Now, I don't want any of that to happen. And I don't like these other tackles that they have, Mitchell and whatever, So maybe those guys keep working on the practice squad, or, to get better, so that, if something does happen, that they're ready and they slide in. But Tippmann is a big thing. So McGovern, I would love ideally for him to be done, and Tippmann is the center. But that's a nice wild card now, because you have Tippmann, who can play guard if something happens with any one of them. If a tackle is hurt or a guard is hurt, you got a credible guy to come in now. I think that, you won't miss too much. So we're hoping it doesn't happen. Let's just roll and see where we go with it. But I think Dalvin Cook, my God, that guy is like a runaway train. So I think you open up a hole from him, he blasts through. That's just going to open up the passing lanes too. Forget it,
Well, it's going to be, interesting. The only one dig on Cook is he's not good where he might be in there and there's a play action pass, and he's not a horrible blocker, but not really a great blocker. So that's going to be interesting to see. I'm looking at a couple of dark horses. I want to see Ruckert in there, that big tight end. He just destroys people blocking. I think the key is the two keys of the game for me is that one, on the offense, I think they should be able to run it really well against Buffalo. I think they should really be able to pound it with the speed and the strength of the running backs. And to me, on the other side of the ball, I know I'm kind of jumping ahead, but the defense, the key is rush Josh Allen, but don't let him get out of that pocket and get
right.
large chunks of yardage.
Yeah, because he'll do it. Yeah,
they got to keep that push. It's up to Woods. It's up to Quinn. They got to keep that middle, where they're not being pushed out of the way, where this guy can just shoot up the middle and course of the pass rush, or getting someone getting near him where he's going to just blow and get 50 yards. That cannot happen tomorrow.
No, you got to contain and you got to seal the edge. He can't do that. And I think Quinn Williams up front with Solomon Thomas and all these other dudes as they rotate them in and out. Clemens, we've seen what they're capable of in Hard Knocks. The whole world has seen that now. So, John Franklin Myers, it's time for him to, become a Pro Bowl kind of guy. Let's see what he does there. Carl Lawson, what's he gonna be able to do? And then Al Woods, my God, that's the guy next to Quinn Williams. He's a monster. This guy,
Jefferson has been phenomenal. One I'm worried about, he comes across as an absolute monster. He had the bat. He looks like, he has more muscle than you can imagine. But Mike Clemens, I don't know, man. I'm hoping he's not going to be, looks like Tarzan, plays like James, because he didn't have a really good preseason. So
I think
a little skeptical on that big guy.
Jermaine Johnson, who did really well, McDonald. There's so many guys that I think you don't know, and I think any one of them could substitute. But they say he's going to step up. They feel he's going to have a good year. That's what I saw. So hopefully he will, but
of course, then that became a little foggy because he was at 275, and then they made him go to 290. They said go to 290, and then you heard about him going in the middle, but he's not in the middle, and still 290 is not big enough to be in the middle. So I guess they wanted him playing the edge at 290. Maybe he's getting used to it. It's 15 pounds more. But
he's at the edge now. So
you got a lot of depth.
Yeah, you really do.
If he does, I hope he does. Obviously, I want him to do well. But for all his menacing, and he has a great voice, by the way. But for all that, when you see when he was drafted, he's an alpha dog. Blah blah blah. Well, I want to be seeing a lot more from that guy. Hopefully, we will. But
I think on the other side, you touched on it before, and I think it's something we need to talk about and go back to. Dalvin Cook, blocking ability, also out of the backfield and catching the ball. But the tight ends, man, one of those guys, I think Ruckert, they're going to try and turn one of those guys into a Kelsey type guy. It's copycat league, right? So
that's going to be probably Conklin, because Conklin is the guy. He's the most athletic, has the most
great hands too. So
great hand. So I think I see Ruckert really kind of pushing a little bit.
Red zone guy, yeah.
Uzama, I see him taking some reps away from him. But listen, Conklin showed it 2 years ago in Minnesota what he can do when they're tight end down. He had a really good year, good numbers. They didn't happen. He was okay, but it wasn't because of him. It was because of that Forrest quarterback play. But I'm looking to see Conklin really become that guy that you just mentioned. And I see Ruckert getting a little bit more involved as the season goes on.
But I
Jets,
think the thing is, you now have, hopefully he stays upright, but now you got a pro that, it's like Jimmy Page out there. It's a guy that he's the man. He knows how to play the game, and do it. He's the lead guitarist, man. He's it. He's Hendrix. So I don't know. I mean, he's got the skill and he's got the ability to make it happen quickly. Yeah, he believes in UFOs and whatever. Half of his stuff is tongue in cheek too. You saw on Good Morning Football, Kyle Larry, into the darkness, and he picked the Jets and whatever. So they're gonna have so much fun with it. And I saw the show he's always on, Pat, McAfee there. It's gonna be every Tuesday, so he's gonna go back. Aaron Rodgers Tuesday, so he's gonna be all over the place, and he's controversial. That's not gonna change. He's gonna be that lightning rod with his opinions and the other stuff that he talks about, like he did when COVID. Bottom line is just win football games. And at this point, we don't give a shit. Just go win a Super Bowl for us, and we'll see what happens. Then you'll be.
And then, listen, Jets fan, Mets fan, there's two things that scare me. One is we were all saying in the baseball verbiage all this about the Mets, and we all saw what happened. We all are seeing what's happening. Even though they're kind of like, I give them credit that they're still kind of fighting. But the other thing is, anytime the Jets are seen in a positive light, anytime they're seen in a positive light, and people, football, former players, analysts see them in a good light, see them doing well, we know what happens, right, buddy? We know what happens.
Yeah, yeah.
And that goes back to, we were talking about it the other day, Jimmy the Greek. That's when it was a 14-game season. Was it the late 70s? Jimmy the Greek, what's your prediction? Who's going to win the Super Bowl this year? New York Jets. And 3-11. They started out 0-5 and went 3-11.
Yeah, I don't think you win another
I
game.
know. I'm being. See, that's why that wall. Yeah, that wall is hard to knock down.
Yeah.
Do knock down that wall. It changes everything. So let's knock it down, man. Let's change the whole framework, the whole foundation. Change it.
But it starts here. You can't when you're out there, and because now everybody's their team, it's everything's going. And now the Jets, Hard Knocks, they're okay. Everybody saw everything. And if they stumble a little bit, they're like, you suck. See, it's like, okay, it's okay. But I'm not worried because we're not the only ones that. Look, Rich Eisen on his own little podcast, he went up and down like we did. He has them at 12-5. He's got the same kind of thing, up and down. He's got them, 4-2 after the first 6, the tough ones. We have them at 5-1. And then
I don't know. Didn't we? I thought we had them 3. Didn't we say we? No, maybe we had them 5-1. But didn't we say we would take 3-3?
Yeah, but the point is, we both, Rich Eisen, we're all very, very high on the team. But it's also because of Saleh and Douglas and the depth. But you just put the head of the snake now is Regal, man. You got a guy who can do it. So just stay healthy, have fun with it, and let it rip. And these young guys, what they're gonna learn is beyond, it's unreal what's gonna develop as they go through this. But you're right. There's that fear. Oh my God. But I at this point in our lives, in our 60s, I'm not gonna, like I say, that's that negative energy that, oh, you guys, Ryan, he's crazy. I don't care,
Well, the last, like I promise you, the last 2 months, when I would read every article about the Jets, when I saw anything remotely negative, I don't even read it. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn.
Yeah.
But listen, the thing we're looking at, here's the end all. All right, they're gonna win or lose. Oh, there's a brilliant comment. They're gonna win or lose. If they lose, yeah, they're gonna get, this, that. But it also depends how the game plays out. There's certain ways of losing. There's certain ways of winning. But I've been thinking about it. I've been having crazy dreams.
Yeah, it's about that time. We gotta figure out. We gotta talk about what we think. But go ahead. Let's hear your crazy dream.
No, I don't want to say what happened in so many dreams when I see this game being played out, but that just shows you my emotional state with this.
Yeah.
I can't hide it. I've said with our podcast, like the fifth or sixth one back, I said, screw it, I'm enjoying every moment of it. I'm going to enjoy right up to the game. And
Hey man,
hopefully I
we
keep enjoying, you know?
who was it? Boomer said he thinks Rodgers is going to have 50 touchdowns. Oh my God, yeah. So do the math. If the guy's going to throw that many, he's got to throw 3 touchdowns every week, or some weeks more. I mean, are we really going to expect that and believe? My God, if that happens, we're going to be it. And then with that defense, I mean, ridiculous. But and then Zerline, what a foot they got there too. So maybe you'll have a little nerves the first couple of games and shank a couple, but you got to figure they're going to move the ball. You got to figure they're going to find ways to move the chains, and he's going to hit that strike and find somebody. And you got to figure he's going to throw a couple of touchdowns. So for my money, I think you're going to see them score 4, 5, 6 possessions, field goal here, touchdown there, So if it's 2 touchdowns and 3 or 4 field goals, right, it's 26 points, and the defense does their job and they win 26-13 or 20, 29-17, whatever, it's like that's what we're looking for. We're looking for them to score, and every time you get your hands on the ball, you want to make something happen. Is it going to know? You're going to have some 3 and outs. But one thing Saleh did say, he said, we're going to have adversity. So, he's laying the foundation. It's not just words, because he knows the expectation is so high, and the sales job of this was so deep to the fan base that the media, they're all going to be looking for blood, the first sign of a problem. And I just don't think I don't think you're going to see it. I think I see Dalvin Cook ripping one off, getting into the end zone. I see him hitting Wilson or Ruckert, in the red zone. I mean, how could that? I see them scoring a few touchdowns a game. I mean, I do, and I don't know,
I see a big game. I'm going all out. I see a big game from Brees Hall. I'm not going to give a final score.
Come on.
All right. All right. If I have to give a final score, I'll go 42-7. I'll go that way.
Wow. Okay. You're really going.
I'm going with total madness. Let's change the narrative. Let's change the whole mindset. It's not about winning the game. It's about really taking it to them.
Well, if they take it to them, that'd be scary. But I'm more like 29-17, 26, 19, something like that, where it's, because you got to figure that, but the defense is so good, maybe they do limit them to a touchdown and a couple of field goals, maybe, and that's it, a late touchdown. And the best thing halftime would be 20-6, something like that, and then, you come out, you kick ass, and you keep it that way, all right, 42.
What we should do is, I know you're here on Monday, and like I said from the beginning, can't wait for all of us to watch it with my bud and my 2 buds. So it's great it's gonna be a good time. But when you're back, maybe we see about. I know you have a long flight, but maybe Tuesday night or Wednesday night we have to talk about the game.
Yeah, this is every week now, because now we're recapping the game and we're looking at the next one. So the format's going to be nice and easy going forward. It's not, well, training camp, well, hard knocks, should they do it, or is Aaron Rodgers going to come? We had Joe on, Joe Paints, it was great. It was fun. We're talking about name it. Is Aaron Rodgers going to come? Who do you want? Who's going to be under center? Remember, it's going to be this guy, Mike White. It's going to be, Zach. Look where we are, how far we've come in 6 months. Ridiculous, So,
really?
So it's an organizational shift, and I just am excited about where we're going. And week 1, here we go, game 1. So,
and you heard my Jets Nation. You heard my prediction. Let's see my thoughts. I want them to go wild, man. I'm sorry. I want it all now. I just want it all. I want them to go wild. And I'm excited.
So I'm going to go 30-13 then.
Wow. Okay.
I see 3 touchdowns, right? And I do see a couple of field goals too. So that would mean 3 field goals. Like I say, if they score 6 times, 6 possessions, right? That gives you 30 if I'm going 3-3. And 30-13, 30-16, whatever.
Well, I see them scoring 6 times, but the full throttle. And
Yeah.
I'm looking for a big day in overall Cook and Hall in the running game.
And Garrett Wilson, I want to see him get
We haven't
100
even talked
yards and a
about it.
couple of touchdowns, Imagine that, We didn't even talk about him. You're right. That's like, geez,
Uh,
you're looking for him,
I'm up on that kid Lazard. Jets fans, this is exciting. That's the bottom line. You heard our scores. We're here. It's almost here, and
Yeah.
this is. Well, I think we're all bubbling over.
That's
Let's hope for the best. Let's hope for the best.
Let's rock and roll. And we'll talk to you Tuesday or Wednesday of next week. And you know what? The window's open now. Now it's open. That's what we want. We want a couple of trophies like the Chiefs have. It's time. So, and again, no one's going to rain on the parade. Giant fans really don't care. Go enjoy your trophies. God bless you. The Jets are going to go be the visitor when it comes time to play the Giants. Best thing about Jet Life Stadium is they each have their own locker rooms. So there's none of that, like, are you in the visitor's locker room in your own stadium? Jets have their own locker room. Giants have their own locker room. And when they play another team, they have a visitor's locker room on their side. So this time, the Jets are going to be on their own, one side of the field, and Giants on theirs. So they are locked in. That means they get the extra home game this year is the way I look at it. So I'm thrilled. I'm excited. It's going to be fun. Let's rock and roll.
Jets, Jets. Boom.
Yeah. And I'll see you Monday, buddy.
See you Monday. Big hug.
All right, pal. Be good.